This little tutorial is about creating custom fonts to be used in WebFOCUS PDF reports. Actually, what are we going to try to achieve? Looking at my report, I want to build a report containing a bunch of very custom symbols. So to do so, we're going to build a report. Let's run what I have right now. So it's a very simple report, creating a PDF document. And within that document, I want to use some specific symbols to be displayed in the report. Actually, I already started with my symbol library here, my symbol, and this can be done using a very simple Truetype font. So how do I get my own Truetype font into WebFOCUS? First thing you need is a tool to create fonts. I'm using FontForge, which is a very nice tool to create fonts. So FontForge is an open source tool, an open source font editor that allows you to change or create fonts on your own. That's where I'm starting. So in here, I already created my own font. To create your own font, you can use FontForge to create a new font and then add your own symbols to that font. Currently, my font already contains A, B, C, D, E as certain characters. So if I want to add a new one, so let's, for example, start with E, I can create from scratch, or I can just select one of the existing characters. So let's go for the A here. Let's copy the A and paste the A into the F character. So I can now open up the character. So that's the current character that we have. I can easily change it, of course. So we can go for, let's go for the editor in here. So I've got my font in here. If I want to change anything, I can easily use FontForge, to change the character, add something in here, completely change it, create a new character. So in here, we got our character. So let's actually just change what we have in here, add one more element in here. Very easy to work with that editor to create your own custom fonts. Go in there, gonna see, change the character in case you don't like it. Of course, we can just delete it again, start from scratch, take, for example, the C, copy the C, paste that character in here. And that's the way to work with FontForge. I'm not going to cover FontForge in detail. So if you want to learn about FontForge, feel free to look at all the tutorials that exist in the internet. So very straightforward tool to create your own fonts. Let's actually just add a little intersection in here. So we have a change in here. So let's add that one, keep it. So as soon as I change my font and created my font, I have to save my font. So it's called mysymbol.tft. To be used in WebFOCUS, I have to put it into this folder here, the server etc folder. So pick up that one. That's the folder I want to get that file. So save it. Sorry, I have to export it. So I'm gonna create my font. And to be used in WebFOCUS, I need two formats. I need the TTF, the Truetype font, which is the first file. So let's create that one, replace the existing one. And second and important is I need the font matrix. So I'm gonna create a font and I'm gonna select my location again, put it in that folder, but now I'm gonna create it as PS font, PostScript type 1 font. So it's going to create me the PFA and the AFM. So I'm going to create it again. Yes, I'm going to keep it. So now we got those characters saved. So actually, looking at the folder, we have now 3 files. We've got the Truetype font, which is the font in Truetype format. I've got the PFA, which is the ASCII PS1 type font. I don't need that one, so I can delete it. I only need the AFM, which is the matrix. Actually, that TTF is the Windows font that contains my symbols. And the AFM is nothing else than a metadata description of all the characters that exist in here. So some metadata and all the characters that are part of the font. That's why I need both. Now to map that font into WebFOCUS, I need to go to the font user XML file located in the same folder. So we can edit that font. Actually, you can see I already added a bunch of fonts in here. By default, it's going to be a very clean and relatively empty file on your system. So I added already a few fonts, and to add my symbol, that's all I need. The family, which is the name of the font, and whatever I use as a name in here is going to be used in WebFOCUS to reference that font. And now here I'm going to map the font itself. So it's the font type. It's the font file, which is the name of that TTF file, and the matrix file is the name of the AFM file. So you could use different names here. I would recommend to keep this it the same name to make life easier in here. And as soon as I add that one to the document, I save my font user XML. And we can go to WebFOCUS, go to my report. Remember, I got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever in here. So resize a little bit using my font, my symbol here, the font, my new font, my symbol in here. So if we run that report, zoom in a little bit, go back, move to the corner, and you're gonna see I have some more characters. Yeah, whenever you see those little squares, that's because I'm using characters in that font that are undefined. So I only did A, B, C, D, and E. If you remember, that's, oh, I added F as well. So I only have A, B, C, D, E, F. That's the characters that exist in that font. So whenever you use a character that's not part of that font, like those in here, I'm going to get those squares. So removing all the leftovers in here, moving back to the fonts that exist, you're going to see there's my report. I still have one left that I have to remove, which is that little bracket or arrow in here. So let's get rid of that one and rerun it again. So over there. No more squares left. And there's my little star icon with the dot in the corner of the element that I added in my font. So remember the font. That's what we built in here. That's what we created, and that's what we see now in our shape. So a very easy way to create your own custom shape. Same if you want to embed your own Truetype fonts. The only thing you have to make sure is use a font where the license allows you to embed that elements. There's a bunch of fonts, a bunch of websites that provide you free fonts. So actually in here, I added another font. I added a strike through font. So in here, I've got my BP typewriters strike through font. In case you're not creating your own font, you can easily use FontForge, open your existing font. So I'm going to go to the same folder. So I'm going to go to my location in here. So I've got my location. where I stored the font. Let's go there. Go to my strike-through font. There's the font that I downloaded. The only thing I need to do is create a font and create the corresponding PFA file. Already did that. So I've got my AFM, and there I'm mapping both the metrics as well as the TTF itself. So I got those documents in here. So using that, we can now use that strike-through font as well in your report. So going over here, going over there, go to the editor. So we've got a bunch of elements in here. Let's go for one of the elements. So let's go for the fourth. Let's use that strike-through in here. For my fourth, I'm gonna use that strike-through font. Run my report. And I'm using that custom font in my report. Scroll there. You're gonna see there's my strike-through font in my report. What exactly happens? Why do you need to build that font user XML? Actually, if I open that file in my PDF reader, I can go to the document properties. And what it does, it not only shows the font, it also embeds the font in the report. If you're using a type 1 font, like the one in here, you're going to see the full font is embedded in the report. If I'm using a Truetype font, it's only going to embed the characters that I use in the report. So for my little symbol font in here, my symbol, it's only going to embed those characters, only the few characters that I used in the report. So it's only going to embed A, B, C, D, E, and F. So that's the way to get it in here. Another very nice thing in here, I've got my style in here. So I can, of course, because it's a font, I can do whatever I want to that font that I can do with a regular font. So I can change the color to be, oops, let's put it to be red, comma. So it's going to allow me to change colors. It's going to allow me change sizes. So I can create my own custom element. A very easy way to get symbols or other elements and fonts embedded into PDF records, into PDF reports, sorry. Actually, that's all I want to show you on embedding fonts in PDF documents. Okay, thanks for joining.